Raegan
Wait,
Revord.
sorry.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm good, thank you for asking. So, after 7 seasons, Young Sheldon, which you've been working on for so long, has recently aired its final episodes. How does it feel?
It's bittersweet. It honestly kind of feels surreal. I was talking to Lance, who plays George, and we were both saying we're kind of gaslighting ourselves into thinking we're just on like summer break hiatus and we're going to be coming back for season 8. We're not, but we're going to spend some time gaslighting ourselves before we actually start the process.
That's fair. That's fair. So Young Sheldon, as we know, is a spinoff of The Big Bang Theory. Before you started on the show, how much did you know about that?
Nothing. I mean, I was 9, like I was like a new 9, and so The Big Bang isn't really fit for that age range. And so I'd never heard of it. I'd never seen it. And I saw like a few clips whenever I first started auditioning just to like kind of learn about it a little bit. I watched a lot of the scenes where older Missy is in the show, but I'd never seen it. I actually still haven't seen it. I probably should watch it at some point.
Um, so what did it feel like to join a show that was part of an existing universe with such a large fan base?
It was an honor. We went into it knowing that, I mean, like you said, like it already did have such a big fan base, but it's been really cool seeing it kind of become this world of its own and get its own fan base. I had someone come up to me the other day and be like, I finished Young Sheldon. I'm gonna start watching Big Bang Theory now. And I'm like, wait, I never thought about that before. It's kind of crazy that they're coming into this world with Young Sheldon first and then going to watch The Big Bang. That's actually how I'm going to do it, I guess. I'm going to be in or watch Young Sheldon then do Big Bang Theory.
Same. So what made you interested in Missy's character during auditions?
I mean, so when I started auditioning for Missy, it was like right in the middle of pilot season, back when there was actually a pilot season and you were auditioning every day. But I kept going back to Missy's character because she's so funny and relatable, and I loved her so much. And we're very similar people. It was when I like I said, I was 9, and so I was obsessed with the fact that Missy loved horses just like I did. And so I don't know, there was something about it. There's something where every day I would go to my mom, and I'd be like, "Have we heard back? Have we heard anything?" I was obsessed, and here we are. It's like eight years later.
So you've played Missy for 7 seasons now. What qualities of hers have, impacted your own life?
I mean, although I'm older than Missy, I feel like I've experienced a lot of the same things through her. I haven't been in like actual school since 3rd grade, so I got to get my own like middle school locker because of Missy. And she was in like that social scene. She was like the popular girl, so that was kind of fun to play. And she was like the scenes where we film in the middle school, I was like, oh, this is what it's like. Because I never went through like actually in person middle school, or like having like a first kiss at like the movies and stuff. Like that girl lived. She also taught me that I never want to go to a frat party like ever. I was miserable in that scene. It was fun, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're very similar people though, but it's kind of funny to me that even though she's younger, she was experiencing things before me.
So how did you prepare for Missy's final scenes with each of the characters?
Oh. It was brutal. Like I was saying before, I kind of gaslighted myself. I was Oh, that was rough because we would go into it and it was very somber because everyone was like trying to be all professional, but you could tell there was just like like added emotion to it that there normally isn't. So like the last take of our last scene was miserable because we filmed the dinner scene in 14 last. That was our last scene we filmed on the show. And that last take, everyone was just sitting there throughout the entire take. My chin was like quivering. I was like trying not to cry. I was staring at those mashed potatoes like my life depended on it.
So leaving a role that you've taken on for so long, I imagine has to be like really heavy. Have you done anything to kind of say your goodbyes to Missy as a character?
Good question. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think I have. I'm still so very attached to her. And I feel like since we are such similar people, it is different to differentiate between Reagan and Missy sometimes. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like, oh, I don't think so. Now I'm gonna have to think about that and see if I have.
So you were super young when you joined Young Sheldon, so you've been acting for a while now. What made you get into it?
Oh, it's actually a funny story. I mean, I started acting when I started doing like commercials and like modeling stuff when I was 4 because my mom's friend owned an agency and she was like, let me like rep Reagan, your daughter could like, I think would be great for this. And little on me was like, yeah, sure, why not? And I just started doing like commercials and modeling, and then I started seeing myself like in these commercials, and I'm like, this is so cool. Like, I want to be in like movies and TV. And I didn't know what it was called at the time, but I said in my word, and little like 6-year-old Reagan's words, I wanted to be on set every day and be in every episode, which is, I now know is a series regular, but that was my goal because I just loved the feel of being on set and just being in a scene. And so it was a very almost like we thought it was going to be just like the little commercial. We thought it was going to be like a little hobby, but then here we are like 10 years later.
That's so cool.
It's so cool. I love it.
Is there anybody in the industry that particularly inspires you?
Okay. I love Reese Witherspoon so much. She is an icon. I like she does so much. She is such an amazing person and like she does so much that I want to do.
Mhm.
And if I ever got to meet her, I think I would cry.
Have you ever considered working in other aspects of the entertainment industry, like music or fashion or anything like that?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about music. I don't think anyone would ever want to hear me sing. I don't think that's something people want. I do want to do like producing movies or shows. Like that is something that I do want to do at some point in my life. It looks fun. I think it could be a fun job. And I saw like our producers on our show and I was like, "Oh, this just looks so cool. Like it looks like such an interesting thing." So, I think that directing seems kind of terrifying, but I could maybe think about that. Who knows? There's so much in the entertainment industry that I think could be fun to do. So,
And you have so much
no,
time.
exactly. Who knows what the future holds?
So I was stalking your Instagram a little bit, and I saw you have a like reading Instagram account at Read with Reagan, and you seem to be such an enthusiastic reader. Why do you like it so much?
Oh, I love books. Little known fact about me, I read like 24/7. Um, I I mean, I've always said that like my parents started reading to me like from birth. I probably on the way home from the hospital after I was born, my mom had a book open. But I honestly think like Harry Potter really got me into reading. It definitely made me such a huge fantasy lover. And I don't know. I like that it can kind of take you into other worlds. You can go read about a different galaxy, or you can read about someone on Earth who's living a different life. You can see different people's perspectives, and it kind of helps you step outside of your shoes into someone else's. And I am obsessed with it. One of my favorite things to do is recommend my friends books. So they'll come over to my house and I'm like, okay, here's my bookshelf. Let me find you guys some books.
We have to talk about recommendations later then.
Definitely.
And you fostered, such a large online community with your book club. What do you hope people get out of it?
I like my whole goal is to spread like a love of reading. I saw this reply few days ago on the book that I posted for the month, and it was this teacher in London who she's been using the book club to help get her students into reading. And it was like, it's so cool. Like that's like my whole thing is like kids these days are such like they have their phones out, they're online, and it's so much screens. And I like none of my friends are readers. I'm constantly trying to get my friends to become readers. And that's just my goal is to help kids understand why it's so amazing and to show how much you can learn from it and to see like that teacher be like my book club is like helping her do that was so that's so cool.
That's so beautiful. What would you say your favorite book of all time is then?
Okay. So I'm obsessed with Six of Crows. It's by Lee Bardugo. It has a Netflix show. That's how most people know of it. It's called Shadow and Bone. But the Six of Crows series is amazing. The writing is so good. Also, I don't know. I mean, going back to like my roots, Harry Potter is oh, I read the Harry Potter series 12 times, if that tells you anything.
That's crazy.
It's it's
Wow.
it's one of my favorite series. It's so good. The world building in it is it's amazing. But I don't know. I would have to say probably Six of Crows is so good.
Yeah, it's great. Um, and you have a book of your own coming out, Rules for Fake Girlfriends. What inspired you to write that?
I mean, I've always wanted to be a writer. I've been writing little like short stories since I was maybe like 4. I'd make my parents like sit down and read it and give me their notes and stuff. And it was so silly. I would write like American Girl doll books and stuff because I was obsessed with American Girl doll when I was little. And so it's always been a dream of mine. But then when I was maybe like 12, I started like writing actually like long form stories. And I got like a book agent and I was like, whoa, this is actually happening. And then I'm such a rom-com lover. I am a hopeless romantic through and through. And I've always wanted to write one. And I had the idea for Rules for Fake Girlfriends. And it's set in England during like the fall, and it's fake dating, and it's like all my favorite tropes, and it's so exciting. And I got to go to England to do like research trips. So it was amazing.
I'm really excited to read it. That sounds really fun.
You.
Growing up in the spotlight is such a unique experience, and there's pros and cons to it. So, what do you love and what do you hate about it?
Oh, in the spotlight. I like one thing I love is that meeting the fans. I do love that. I love it whenever like a little girl comes over to me and she's like, I love Missy. She's such like an inspiration. I will cry at that. If a little child comes over and says that they love Missy, I will cry because it's so sweet. I feel like one thing though that I hate is I don't know. I feel like the idea that people who are in the spotlight aren't just regular humans and just people who like, because I see people online who are like, I'll post me going to a book fair and it's like, what are you doing? Like, why aren't you on set or something? And I'm like, guys, I go and I hang out and I do stuff. And so I feel like maybe I'm the same. I'm just a person, guys.
What's something that a lot of people may not know about you?
It's a good question. I actually there was a point where I had an answer for this and I had it like locked and loaded at all times and I've totally forgotten it now. Good thing. I don't know. Oh, now I'm trying to go through like the Raegan Revord life. I mean, I'm a huge avid cat person and I want to have an apartment in London and I want to be a crazy cat person.
That's a wonderful dream to have.
I feel like London is me as a city.
I can see that. Um, if you had to give one piece of advice to young aspiring actors around your age, what would it be?
I feel like a lot of it is don't take no or you have to get used to the no's because you have to do so many auditions. I mean there was like 4 years, 5 years of me auditioning before I got Young Sheldon and a lot of it was no's. But if it's something that you love and it's something that you really want to do and it's like your passion for acting, then just know that you will get that. You'll get that break at some point. You just have to toss the nose aside and focus on the yeses.
I've loved your work so far, and I'm super excited to see what comes next. It was super fun talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was so much fun.